Welcome to Socially Unfiltered,
That's the sleaziest tactic I have ever heard.
I cannot believe they would say that to you.
an open discussion all about social media, entrepreneurship, pop culture, and everything in between.
We're just some DIY girlies.
It costs $0 to support your friends.
You'll go on deep dives and doom scrolls with your hosts, Lex and V, to uncover the stories behind the headlines and look at everything through an unfiltered lens.
I want to relive the 2000s.
Not the trauma dumping on a Monday.
So grab a drink and get ready for a lot of yapping. Don't worry, there's no quiz at the end.
Strategy is such a buzzword.
English isn't my first language, so that's my excuse.
This is the Socially Unfiltered Podcast.
All right, ladies and gents.
Welcome. The show is about to begin.
What are you actually building? Oh, and also Lex's microphone decided to stop working, so just in case you notice a difference, being a peasant over there.
Yeah, sorry for my lack of mic. I'm hoping I can make this sound slightly better in editing, but
It doesn't
sorry
sound
if
bad.
it sounds horrible. But anyway, we persevere. Yeah, somehow my mic stopped working in literally 26 minutes. Not really sure how.
Yep,
Must be the ghosts.
literally. They're like, you're done for the day, actually.
Yeah, they're like, you've done too much today
Like,
already.
actually, shut up. Okay.
Yeah, you've actually spoken enough today.
Enough.
Listen more than you speak, bitch.
But alas,
Everything.
we must continue on. Oh, sorry, Benny, you're not skinny enough to get past that.
It was half a cup of food.
A deficit's a deficit. No progress is
Benny,
better.
I'll give you all the cookies. Don't worry. We will sneak snacks.
Anyway, back
Same.
to it. Yeah, what are we yapping about?
Well, I think today we should talk a little bit about goals. Kind of ties into the episode that we just did, but a little more on like goals, and like this kind of became relevant. I was talking to somebody recently and they do something pretty cool and don't really utilize social media, and when you suggest some things that like would maybe help somebody put themselves out there more, when they're not like retaliation, but like their justification of it is like, well, I'm okay where I am. Like, this was my goal. Like, this was what I wanted to get to. I think sometimes it's easy for not only you to get lost in like what, like, it was just one refreshing to like hear somebody say like, oh, like I'm not, like I don't want to do any more than what I already do. Like hearing them say like this was their goal. But I also feel like it's super easy for people to not understand what exactly they're building. Like, this person, for example, could have gone into it like with a completely different mindset and been like, I'm going to be on Instagram and TikTok, and I'm going to do this and promote that and show up here and do that. But their goal was never to like go viral or like get a bunch of, like, they wanted to just do what they do, and that's what they do. So it's just like interesting.
What's like the example, I guess? I'm trying to like envision a business that doesn't need socials. Like, what is it?
Okay, like those people who go to weddings and like paint live pictures. Okay. They get going. They're kind of just like operating on like word of mouth, and they're doing a wedding every weekend and that pays their bills. But they're not like posting anything on social media, but they're staying booked. If that person were to share more of their work on social media, it would probably get them more bookings or like seen by higher clientele, like higher paying clients, whatever. But their goal was only to ever do one wedding a weekend, and this artistry pays their bills full time, and they're chill with where they are.
That's sick. Yeah.
Whereas like we as social media managers would see somebody not using social media to its full potential and be like, well, you could do this, you could do that. Like we, I think just with what we do, see so much more of what somebody could do. But to like hear somebody say like, I don't need any more than what I already have. Like, I have what I was after. This is my goal. Like, I'm currently living in what I want to do. And it was just very interesting to like hear somebody say that like they know that their goal is like where they are, and like it was never about like getting to be the biggest or the best or like the most known or the most booked. Like it was about them knowing what would fulfill them, and it was them having Monday through Friday to like do what they want, do their wedding on Saturday, and that's what they wanted. So it's like hard to argue that, because looking in from the outside, it's easy to be like, well, we see so much more that you could be doing, but you don't have to.
No,
like if
exactly.
your goal is to, and like I think we've kind of talked about this with like clients, like it, like from day one, I never was like, I want an employee, I want a team, I want this, I want an agency, I want an office. Like I knew that my goal was just to make this business work for me in whatever capacity that meant, and that changed over the years. But like I went into it knowing that at least that was never my goal, if that makes sense. Like to kind of know what it is that you're building, or like what it is that your goal is after, or what goal you're after with what you're doing, is so important, because I think it's easy to like not only get lost in the sauce and be like, there's a million other things I could be doing. There's outside pressure to be like, well, why aren't you sharing more of this with the world? There's so much that goes into it. So I hope that kind of makes it make more sense. Like if somebody is like booked and doing what they love and they don't feel the need to like be any more popular, but they're like fine where they are, word of mouth, then you're kicking it. Like you're good, and you don't have to use social media to get any further than you already are.
Yeah.
Wouldn't hurt, and it's easy to like defend that point, but there you can't argue with somebody who's like, I'm chilling, like I'm good.
Like I don't want to do more just because there's like that pressure out of somebody to want to do that. Or you could even go into something and you don't have like a goal for it. It could just be like, I'm just doing this like to see where it goes, and like there's no expectation to what you could achieve. And if you achieve something, it's like, oh cool, like I didn't even go into that. Like you said, like when you started, it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna have like assistant and all these things. It's just like starting it and being like, let's see where this goes, and like how this will just fit into my life. And my version of like being comfortable is different than someone else's version of being comfortable. And it's also like the difference in what your income looks like. For some people, it wouldn't be enough to have like one painting a weekend. For other people, it's just like depends on so many things. So it's almost like you can't listen to other people of like, you should be doing this and you should be charging that. It's like it could be different depending on your scenario. You could not even be paying rent. So then, you know, all of that income just goes to like the fun stuff, groceries. You could have a very high rent. So then you do need more clients and you do need like more of those weekends. So then you do have to gain a little bit more traction. So like lifestyle plays so much into that of like what you actually need for your personal goals, life, situation, location, like that plays into it too. Like if it's a location where it's always nice out and people are always like getting married in these beautiful places and you're a painter, like you're probably gonna be booked out because it's like just the location alone is something that I feel like makes it more popular. But
And like for like living expenses, like it's easy for I think like somebody who lives in New York City to like see somebody who maybe lives in like a suburb, like in a Midwest city, and like be like, oh my God, how are you not like working 5 jobs? Like, how do you not want to do more than what you already do? And it's like you're locate like depending on where you are, literally changes what you need to do in your everyday life, especially when you're living somewhere like more expensive. So that's a great point, because that plays so much into it, like without even realizing it, I think.
yeah, and like your goals can be very different from other people's. Like for me, that probably wouldn't be enough because I'm always like thinking about like, okay, well, I want to like save for the future. I want to like take more trips, so that means I should like take on a little bit more, make a little bit more income. But some people are built like, I'm fine living like this way and like being able to pay my bills, and like some people are okay living paycheck to paycheck. Some people are okay just like bare minimum. Some people are never okay with that, and they're always striving for like more, more, more. So it just depends on the type of person you are as well. Like what you see for yourself, for your life. And there's nothing wrong with like any of those scenarios. Like it's just what makes you comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like a really good conversation because I feel like a lot of the time we are always just like, as social media managers, just like, oh my God, this is so
We're
cool.
pushing
Like,
for it.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we're like, what you do is so cool. Like, you could blow up. You could be so big. Like, I want everyone to know about you because I just love
Mm-hmm.
like your product, your service, whatever it is. There's been so many instances where there's like businesses I come across and I'm like, everyone needs to know about this because it's
Literally, I want to
so
scream
good.
at you.
But
Right.
they're like, no, I just want to be like small and enjoy it. And that's that. And it doesn't matter what we want. at the end of
Or
the day.
even like I have a friend who she started doing like it was like crafts and like jewelry and like home decor and stuff, but it was all like she legit handmade all of it. It got to a point where she was like, I love that like the like niche that I'm in is like handcrafted and like handmade, but like it's not sustainable unless I'm charging like crazy amounts of money for this stuff. So then she's like at a point where it's like, well, I either need to like invest in things that like automate some of this, but then I
Yeah.
don't get to call it like 100% handmade. And it's like you kind of lose that. So it's like in that case, like it maybe wouldn't help this person to like go viral because then they're just overwhelmed with more orders and it takes away from like the craftsmanship of it being
Yeah.
like handmade and one of a kind and small batch and whatever. And then I think it's like a vicious cycle where people are like, well, I'm not paying that for that. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
so hard. I don't know. It's just so hard when we always see the benefits of it. Like it could never like, and this is how I was talking to this person about it is I'm like, you don't have to like do it or like do more, like put more of your work on social media because you like feel like you need to, but it's like it most likely wouldn't hurt. Like it really would only bring you more
Yeah.
eyes, bring you more visibility, make you more known, even if it's not that people are booking your wedding paintings, like they're seeing you, they're aware of you, you can get publications, you can get stories, interviews, people showcasing your like there's so much that comes from it, but
Mm-hmm.
it's again, I think easy for us as social media managers to like see and understand and acknowledge that. And to somebody who maybe that isn't how they think, that just sounds like overwhelming.
Yeah.
And it's like easy for us again, or like people on the outside to be like, oh my God, well, you need to be doing this and that and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, is that at all what this person wants to be doing? And
Mm-hmm.
it's hard for us to understand because that's not us.
Yeah, and even if you push that onto somebody, like if they don't genuinely want that for themselves, it's never going to be successful because they just aren't in it. And it's the same with creating content and like starting a business. Like you can't force that onto yourself. You have to enjoy like the process of it. You have to enjoy the days that aren't even good. Like you have to keep going. So
Mhm.
it's and creating content especially like that person started a business to like do what they love, and I feel like then it kind of takes it away because you're now having to be a content creator and having to like post all these things, and this is only for like the soul of like this scenario where it's like I don't want any more business, but
Mhm.
obviously it is challenging for the people that do want more business and they
Mhm.
aren't content creators, but now all of a sudden they have to like become that and start creating content because maybe they can't afford to like hire a social media manager or a content creator. So I see where it's like hard too because you're like, I just want to like do what I love and make money
Mhm.
from it, but obviously nowadays like social media comes with that and
Mhm.
it's not for everyone.
No, and I really like what you said that like you can't force somebody like we as social media managers when we're like talking to potential clients or just like having these conversations with people like we obviously can defend our points of like why we think this is a good idea and like I would be willing to say we have maybe changed a few minds about things or like gotten people to like see it differently or like be open to different content in ways but you if somebody is like so adamant that like this is a waste of time, I don't need this, like this is never good. Like if they're just like being a bad time about it, like it's never, it's not gonna go well. And that's why we've never like again, yes, we can fight our points and like try to get people to see our side, but we will never try to like convince somebody that they need us if we don't genuinely feel like they're in it as well. Because exactly, like, what if I was having this conversation with this person and basically bullied them into letting me do a month of their social media, and we do it and they're just like not in it, energy's low, they don't show up,
Yeah.
they don't like, it's, if they don't want to, they just don't want to. So like, not even just like about what is your goal, like us as social media managers, like that's something that we have to like weirdly navigate, because it's like, I want you to understand what I want you to understand, but I also, at the end of the day, this is who you are. And it can do with like age, like what people's experience on the internet has been. Like if somebody's tried to go on the internet and they've just gotten like crazy backlash and people are like
Yeah.
huge douches to them, like I don't blame them for being like a little scarred and like not wanting to go back. But I just love that you said, like, it's, you can't force somebody to understand the benefit of it. There are people that are going to be more willing to try it that maybe don't fully understand it. But like, if somebody is very adamantly like, I am not doing this, like, we're not about to try to convince you that you need to.
Yeah, and then like you also can't bring them the results that you maybe talked about in the beginning or promised in the beginning, because that was like with their help and with their willingness to be like in content. So I just think that that part's hard too, is like you I now am like, I need clients with personalities that are like actually comfortable with like being on camera and like will do that, especially if it's like a small business where they are the face of their business and their brand and like people want to see them. I think it's, I mean, there's definitely ways to do it where like you don't have to be face first, but I also think that helps a lot and it makes our life as social media managers easier too. I just think it's very difficult when, yeah, you're trying to like force something to happen, anything in life. Like it's never going to go as you want it to if you're constantly having to force it or the person's not in it. Like you have to enjoy it
Mhm.
or at least like want to try. Like it's otherwise it's not going to be successful content and then you're not going to get the results that you are wanting.
Mhm.
It's kind of a waste of everybody's time
Yeah,
in that regard.
exactly. Completely
Um,
agree. So, yeah, so I mean, like goals, like as far as like what your goals are on social media, obviously huge. And I think it's also really important when you are starting like any sort of business to understand not just what your overall business goals are, but like where social media fits into that. Like, for example, we can talk just like social media managers quick and like what your goal is with your business. Like, we, again, maybe didn't know what our total end goal was, but we knew where we didn't want our businesses to go. And a lot of what's kind of the appeal with what we do is a lot of it can be done on your own time. And a huge thing that people are after is obviously that flexibility and like being able to like work from anywhere. So like, not only is it important to figure out like what your goals are with your business, obviously that one's huge, but where I'm going with that is, you, once you identify those goals, you're able to structure like not only your packages but your workflows, your weeks, your work days, like you're able to structure basically everything around that goal. So like, for example, if you are somebody who enjoys just having like a lot of really quick, fast conversations with people, like you might do better in consulting. Like you might do better in a situation where you're offering like hourly one-on-ones and that's what you do 3 or 4 days a week and then admin day on the other. Or if you don't love the constant communication and you want to work further with somebody, you can look into offering like the monthly social media management packages. Like you can build, like once you figure out how you work best and what your goal is with how you see your business going. And again, you don't have to have like the whole end goal. I definitely did not, but I knew like when I first started, it was a goal of mine that I didn't want to have to be ready to be on camera or to talk to people 7 days a week. So I designated 2 days a week that those were the days I did all of my calls, filmed everything, recorded everything. And like, that was my goal. Like my goal was to know that like I could plan for certain days to be certain things, and I was able to do that with the packages that I was offering, and I built the packages for that reason. I brought clients on that agreed to Tuesday, Thursday calls. Like it's hard because I know you can't be like too picky when you're just like starting things out and like trying to figure out what works for you, but once you figure out what you do like and what your goals are with what you see your business doing, you can start to structure your offerings, your workflows, your communication, like everything around that goal. Like it's so important to know, again, maybe not the full end goal, but like where you at least see yourself being happy with what you've built in that time.
Yeah, I feel like this is like such a good way of piggybacking off of like last week's episode. It's just this is like where it all starts, but then where you end is like kind of our episode from last week. And I feel like these are both like very important topics to have because a lot of the time you do just go into it and you're just like, let's just see what happens, which is fine. But I do wish I had like more real goals. I feel like I established like more of my goals after like the first year in my business when I feel like it actually turned legit, where I was like, oh, this is like what I'm doing now, I guess. Like it became like because originally I'm like, this is just gonna be a little side thing, little side hustle, and it's not gonna be my full-time thing. So I was like, I didn't really have a lot of goals set. I was just like, oh, hopefully this will make me as much like income as my other three jobs. So then I don't have to like work all those three jobs and maybe I could have like one other thing that's like full time and then just do this for fun. And then it ended up turning into a full business. So I feel like I didn't really have those goals until that one year in. And I was like, all right, what am I looking for now? Like, what do I actually want out of this? And it's like just being able to like manage my own time and like not working for anybody because when I did work for somebody, I did not enjoy it. And being on someone else's schedule all the time, like that was a big goal of mine, was just to be able to like structure my days how I wanted to, and like also getting to choose the type of brands I was working with. I definitely had like money goals because as one does, I feel like when you go into something like that, you want to have
The
like
money?
sustainable income. Yeah, like income goals for yourself and the growth. Um, but that didn't come until like a little bit later for me,
Yeah,
for sure.
I feel like it's not that like this all needs to be figured out on day one for
Yeah.
sure. Because I also think like as you're going, you figure out what works for you, or
Hmm.
like you maybe try something and you're like, wait, that's actually not what I wanted, or like this isn't
Hmm.
where I wanted to end up. So yeah, I don't think it's anything that like needs to be like solidly outlined and defined on day one. Like I think it's totally fine to take the time and like test the waters and like even like you said, like coming into this, like I was doing this like for fun, like on the side for
Hmm.
like people that I knew. Like I didn't even think to have any goals with it. But then once I don't remember when it happened, probably a year or two in, I was like, oh, I gotta like start taking this seriously, I think.
Hmm.
And it's again, I don't mean to make it sound like you have to have all of that figured out on day one, but like if you can at least identify something that, like, I know for me when I first started and like before I really had any idea like what I wanted any of my goals or like end game to be, like, I remember a lot of my goals were very like financial or like follower count or like X amount of posts this week. Like they were very like just like things that I couldn't really control that like yeah like my output of content could like bring more followers, but like that's not the point. Like I just feel like I wasn't like fully understanding like what it meant to like look like at the bigger picture. Like my I didn't realize at the time I was doing that because it was a way for me to like my goal is overall I would say is to like work creatively. Like I would love to like work creatively in whatever capacity, and I think I always knew that, but I didn't really understand that part of it until I started getting more into it, and I was like, oh, okay, like now what are my like sub goals under that? Like
Hmm.
main goal is to do this in whatever capacity.
Yeah.
What's kind of like the smaller goals leading up to that? Well, and I think it's like important to look at that with like anything, like where again, you don't need to know the whole end game, but once you can start like looking at things backwards, like if again, like I'm gonna go back to like when I said I wanted calls on certain days, like I sit down and I look at my calendar and I go, okay, I only want calls on those 2 days. What do I have to do to make that happen? Okay, I have to do all of my work on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Okay, I have to make sure that all like you have to start like going backwards to be like, how do I make that happen? Again, even if it's not your full end goal, but like anything you're trying to accomplish, like look at it backwards. Like, okay, I want this client to book this package, so I need to create this offer, which means I need to talk about this, which means I need to make content about this, and this is my strategy. Like, it's all about looking at things backwards and like how you get to that second to last step and then third to last step. And it just keeps going.
I think that's actually so much easier than looking at it like in the right
Yeah.
direction of like, okay, call, then this and this. Like, I feel like I never really think to do it backwards like that, but it actually makes so much more sense because then it's like almost tricking your brain of the satisfaction of like, here's the result. And then now your brain has to like rewire and like walk you all the way through like what you had to do. I feel like that's a way better way of looking at it than even like the normal way of like step one, step two, step three. It's like, I feel like that we're just so used to thinking of things that way and like everything in order.
Yeah, because
Like
if you
when,
think about like if you're like think okay, so I'm going to get a spray tan. Okay, so my last step of that process is stepping into your booth. The second to last like step is taking all of my clothes off. The third to last step is arriving there. The fourth to last step is the shower that I took. The fifth to last, like you literally have to think of like what is the last thing I will be doing before this is my reality. And like even with like the calls and stuff, it's like okay, I only want calls on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So let's say it's Monday. What would I be doing? I would be confirming all of my calls for Tuesdays and Thursdays, which means I need to put an admin block on Monday mornings. If I need an admin block on, like, you literally have to think of like everything is like, okay, if I was about to do everything that I wanted to do, what would I have just done before that? And it's like kind of trippy once you start like thinking of everything kind of backwards. But I really do think like, it's one of the best ways to look at things, like visualize what you are doing the second before you are like stepping into that goal.
you're in an interrogation room. Walk us through that night.
Literally. Right. Tell me
Walk us
every single
through.
step. Yeah. Just backwards.
Yes, I think that's so smart and such a different way of like building something because I just think we're always used to building things one step after the other, and it's like you don't look all the way to the finish line until you're nearing it. But I feel like if you did, that gives you so much more like motivation and structure of just like taking that step back. And that is like such a good example because I feel like I never really think of stuff that way. But now it's like, wait, yeah, why don't we all like do things that way? Because then I feel like it makes you feel like you're a little bit closer to it too, because you're like, okay, I know exactly what the last step is going to be before you even get to like the initial steps. So it almost gives you a little bit more motivation because you're like, well, I know the step before I get the goal. So build all the way back.
Yeah. Well, and it's like
I
so
like
much
that.
easier. Like when you're on a road trip, like, and you just get in the car and you're going, you're like, oh my God, we have 500 miles to go. Like, that is so much.
Yeah.
But then you get to the last 30 minutes and you're like, oh my God, this is gonna fly by. Like, it's so much easier to like, or like you get to the last 30 minutes and you're like, oh my God, I don't even care that there's 30 minutes left because I'm so excited to be there. Like, there's so much that like is just, it's interesting when you start to like change your perspective on things.
Yeah, I love that. I never have thought about things that way, but I feel like it's genius. I know it's not like that that big of a revelation, but
Yeah,
like
no, it's not at all.
it is such a little thing that all of us could be doing to
And I didn't like make that up, like just for the record. I'm not trying to sound philosophical. It's
right. Yeah,
definitely
no.
just
Like
like,
reverse engineering
yeah,
everything like has been like yes, it's a thing. It's just like I guess when you really put it into perspective or like talk about it and give like actual examples of it like you just did, I think that can help a lot of people like structure a lot of things, even packages things like that, like just go backwards of like how are you going to get that end result for that client.
Mm-hmm.
It can literally pertain to any business, and that's what I love about that example actually, is that it can work in any like example, any capacity. It's not like just for one industry
No. Or like
or
even
one.
for social media managers, it's like if you don't enjoy the process of like making stories, then create packages that don't include stories. Like it's,
Hmm.
but you have to think like, okay, how do I, like, okay, I have a package that doesn't include stories. How do I get there? Well, I need a new package that doesn't include stories, and then I need to promote it. Like it's, once you start, it's hard to stop, I feel like. But
Hmm.
like for us, or like building packages, or like building your business or your services, or like Mariah completely switching the like concept of her salon. Like she knew and was like, okay, this is where I want to end up. I have to change the products, change the layout, change the website. Like it's, you go backwards.
Hmm.
And I mean, the list is literally never done, but like,
Right.
at least you know where to start.
Yeah, at least when it's like laid out for you
Hmm.
in that capacity.
Yeah. But I think it's easy to get caught up in wanting a goal or like planning goals that just always need more. And like kind of like we talked about last week, like it is difficult sometimes to like sit and just be like, yeah, like I did that. Like
Hmm.
I did that. Because I think it's hard sometimes to like be excited for yourself and like your own goals, but
Yeah.
it's just hard because I mean going back to the beginning, like we know the benefits of like wanting more and like building more, not just on social media, but like it is hard to imagine like why somebody wouldn't want to continue expanding their goals, but it's also like we're not them. We don't understand
Hmm.
what their end goal is. And again, when I was like having this conversation with this person, like it wasn't like I was hearing what they were saying and I was like, yeah, but like think of it like I was hearing what they were saying. I was like, that's totally valid. Like, here's how
Hmm.
I feel about it as a social media manager. Like,
Yeah.
I completely understand what you're saying. And like me as just like a regular everyday person, do I need to be on Instagram? Not really. Like, not like posting anything. I'm whatever. Like it's I get the feeling of like no, like I'm good where I am. Like I'm fine. I don't need to do that. But it is again, it's just always hard to like not understand like somebody wanting to do that.
Right. Everyone's coming from such different like life experiences and backgrounds, and we all have different motivations and maybe not even a certain like end goal. It's just like, oh, I'm just like living day by day and like hopefully I have a good week, or like, like it's everyone's going to be different, but it is hard sometimes to remove your opinions or like your values, even just in regular stuff in life. Like you could see something and be like, I would literally never do that, or like I
Mm-hmm.
would, couldn't be me, but like respect you for that and you do you
That's not
because
for
your
you.
life. But for something like I did used to live like the paycheck to paycheck life, or just like just being like fine, and I never like enjoyed or was comfortable in that space or capacity. So I feel like with me, I'm always like I do want to do more. Like I want to make more money. I want to travel more. Because I'm making more money, I'm now able to do that. So it's like just these different things that should align to your life and your lifestyle, because I'm not the person that's going to be comfortable living paycheck to paycheck. But for other people, it's completely fine and they make it work and they don't want more and they don't care about traveling and the things I care about, because we're
Mm-hmm.
different people. But it's just about like having the respect for those people, even if it's like clients. Same thing goes for that. It's like, I respect that for you. Like, you don't want that. Sometimes you want more for other people too. I think that's hard too, is like, I want more for you. Like, why don't you want that? Like, I want you to be able to do these things and I want you to be able to post more and I want you to blow up. Like, you would be amazing. Like, you see the potential in someone. And I think that that is hard too, to remove like your own opinions and your own experiences, and just knowing that like hopefully people, sometimes people don't know what's best for them, but like hopefully they will figure that out on their own, and it's not our responsibility to like
Mm-hmm.
try to push them or force them into something,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of anything in life, content, like social media, anything.
Yeah.
So it's been something I've had to learn too, just like letting go of that and being like they're their own people. And
Mm-hmm.
my client doesn't want to do this, they don't want to do that. If my friend doesn't want to like do this, they don't want to do it. Like it's just letting go of control a little bit, I think, too.
Yeah. Yeah, you just definitely have to be like open to understanding that like somebody wouldn't make the same choices as you, especially when it comes to like building something like a business. Like what like even just between the two of us, like what your ideal everyday life looks totally different than what mine is. And like our businesses do look very similar, but like we don't do them the same way because there's like little things that cater to me and what I need and little things that cater to you and what you need. And it is, I think, even harder with our friends because we're like I have so many friends who have so like just sitting and listening to them talking, I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, you need to be doing like TED Talks. Like, you are so smart. You're so funny. Like, you have such a wit. Like, you need a podcast. You need to be on TikTok. We need to like get you an interview somewhere. Like, there's so many people like that, but like, they're content just like living in their own little bubble in their world and they don't want to be like perceived more by the world and you don't have to. It's just I do think especially with us like just with what we do like it's just constantly the forefront of our brain where like we see something and we're like, oh my God, that would blow up on social media, or like we know
Yeah.
that like that would be such a fun client to manage because their content would be so fun to make. Like we our brains are just constantly thinking like that and it's again hard. It's easy for us to forget that business owners aren't necessarily always thinking like that, and in our personal life our friends aren't always thinking the same
Yeah.
way, and it's a tough pill to swallow for sure. But like you said, like it's not obviously if somebody's being like harmful or like dangerous to themselves or others, like that's one thing, but like you as a person deserve like answers or like to feel peace like in your friendships, but it's also like as adults you have to like understand that it's not your job to like try to convince somebody of something else all of the time. Like you are going to put more stress on yourself trying to make somebody else feel that way. And it's
Yeah.
so easy to especially with our friends to be like, well, how do you not want that? Like how do you not want to do this too? Like how's this not your goal? How do you not think about this? Like, how do you not think about that? And it's hard when it's people that we want. I mean, I want the best for everybody, but like, it's hard when it's our friends and we want the best for them in
Right.
anything.
Yeah, it's like letting go of that control and also knowing that just because it's not your way doesn't mean it's wrong or the wrong way. Like there are many ways of doing things. There are many ways of creating content that for some people it's talking head videos, for other people it's like quick snippets over music, for other people it's graphics and like typing and they're only comfortable like speaking that way. Like it's just everyone is different and we have to just keep remembering that even clients like what you know would be successful for them might not be what they're comfortable with and it's just all about it's like a push and pull. I don't know. It's just like really trying to respect and know that your way is not the only way. There are many differences in businesses and people and life and friends that we just have to accept that sometimes people aren't going to make the decision that like we would choose to make, but that is the best part of it. If we were all the same, it would be boring and suck. Like that's the beauty of being a business owner too, is like you're unique and you stand out in your own way because you are different than the other business owner or the other person that started the same brand. Like you have different values, ambitions for your business. So I just respect people that are just not trying to be like somebody else or like another person's business, then are like, no, I actually am like content with this. They can grow like however they want and I'm gonna do this and there's no like comparison or weird like stigmas around it. Like they can just everyone can do what they want.
Like there's certain like I'll see like some social media managers content that's like moving my team into our new office in the city this week, and like there's people that see that and they're like, oh my God, that's gonna be me one day. I see that and I'm like, that looks stressful,
Yeah,
expensive,
like couldn't
and
be
like
me.
nothing I ever want to do in my life. So it's like it's so hard
Yeah.
sometimes, or like I guess it's easy to forget that like I don't want to say like one man's trash is another man's treasure, but like what you find is like unbearable. Like
Yeah.
I would never do that willingly. I would never willingly build a team in an office and like have to do things like that for
Yeah.
a million different reasons. However, I watch half of our industry do it. So clearly it's something that
Mm-hmm.
there's like certain people that are built for
You know, I
and
respect, I have the
same,
utmost respect for people that can
same.
do that. And it's like, that's amazing. I love that.
Mhm.
And I think we can admire people for doing those things. And even though it doesn't align with like what we would want for ourselves, it's like, it's still okay that they are doing that because they're not us and we're not them.
Mhm.
And that's why we have our own life to do whatever the fuck we want to do. And they have
Literally
theirs.
live your own life
Yeah.
and do whatever
Like,
you want. And who cares
it's
what
a
anybody
wrap.
else is doing as long as they're not hurting or offending anybody,
Yeah.
then that's one thing.
Right.
But if you're just like mad that somebody like I don't know, did something that you would never like you gotta understand that we're not all the same people and it's a weird realization
Yeah.
when you're like, whoa, like everybody is not like
Yeah.
me.
And we're human. Obviously, we're gonna like sometimes fall into the trap of like
Sure.
judging something or being like, why would they ever do that? That looks like miserable. Or like, I would never choose that for myself. Like, I don't know. Just here's an example. Someone having like 8 kids, right? Well, like, why the hell would someone ever do that to themselves? That is so much like Ballerina Farm. I look at her and I'm like, oh my God. Like, first of all, how are you doing that? But like, why are you doing that? But then I'm like, well, that's literally what she wants. Like,
Yeah,
it's
and there are
her,
people that watch that being like, I can't wait to find my
I want that. Yes.
husband and make me a housewife and
Yes.
impregnate me 8 times in 9 years. Like there are
Yep.
people that literally daydream about that. If you're one
Right.
of those like listening to this, we're not bashing you. Again, I know sometimes it can sound like it's speaking from insecurity, but like I would never do that. And I love that for you, but like not gonna be me.
Yeah. No, I'm just like, it's just honesty of like sometimes there is that little premise of me being like, why would you do that? But then I'm like, well, it actually doesn't affect me at all. So
Literally doesn't bother me at
it's
all.
the quickest thought. I'm not like sleeping and thinking about it or like
No, I'm not like
commenting
waking
and
up in the middle of the night like, why do they have eight
yes.
kids?
And I'm not like commenting anything or sending any hate
No,
or anything like ever. And
no.
I'm not like trying to be mean about it. I just think like sometimes initially something does go through our brain of just like, why would they do that? Like
It's
that's
just
so
like a
much.
wow.
Or
Like
it's
a
like, wow, I would never do that. Like, but I think it's even just having to switch the mindset again of being like, why do I even have to say I would never do that? Like to
mhm.
just because it is again a comparison at the end of the day, and I don't want to be comparing to anyone or anything. So it's like it's also just realizing those little things, I guess, that come through of like, I would never do that. Why would they do that? And it's like, why am I even thinking that? Who cares? Like, can just scroll and move on and be like, I don't even need to comment in my brain to myself of that, like
Right.
making any type of comparison or passing any type of judgment, I guess. But I mean, we're only human and sometimes it happens, and that's just what I'm sometimes happens where I'm like, oh my God.
Sometimes it's a little jarring, okay? And I can't help
Yeah,
but
that's
think,
it.
wow, that's a bold choice.
Yeah, but good for you.
I know, like I feel like I sound like a douche when I'm like, oh, I love that for you. Like I don't mean that like, oh, I like love that for you. Like I mean it
Hmm.
like I love that for you. Like if that's what lights you the fuck up, like I love that for you.
Yeah,
Like it
exactly.
doesn't light me up the same way, but I love that for
Hmm.
you. Like I love this experience for you. I love that you're that happy.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I sound like such a douche when I say it sometimes. And I'm like, I swear I don't mean it like that. Like I literally am like, I'm happy that this is something that you love.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just like don't
Exactly.
know how else to say that it doesn't affect me the same way it affects you. So I love that for you.
Yeah. I mean, plain and simple. Well, I think because that phrase turned into being like
Right.
so,
Like it's people associate it with being like
like
sarcastic. And
being
I'm like, no, I
sarcastic and
genuinely
yeah,
am like, I love
or
this.
like snobby, like, oh, love
Yeah.
that for you. Just like
Right. Like, oh,
annoyed, but
I'd never
it's
do that,
not.
but cool. And it sounds so douchey and I don't mean for it to.
I know what we should ask chat. Like, what's another thing that's
I know. Chat, change my vocabulary, please. Make me
Please.
not sound douchey when I'm trying to actually be excited for somebody. I'm just
Love
kidding.
everything for you. Live your freaking life. And ignore people like me if you have 8 kids. And I'm astonished by you.
I mean, same.
This is why we won't be posting a shit ton and try to go viral, because people will clip this and be like, she's shitting on Ballerina Farm.
No, literally, we can't. We see, our goal is to stay right here, right where we are. We're scared of anything above that, actually. To our friends who really like us and don't cancel us.
Yeah.
We're scared of strangers.
Strange danger, unless you're cool.
All right, well, stay unfiltered and do your
Love you.
best. Love you.
Do your best. Bye. Bye.
In case you haven't heard from us enough today, come hang on Instagram at sociallyunfilteredpod.
Join our group chat to stay updated in between episodes by texting group to 833-459-3349.
Download the Social Media Manager Business Blueprint to start building your business today.
And last but not least, grab your official Socially Unfiltered merch from our Bonfire store.
You can find everything linked in the episode description below or at sociallyunfilteredpod.com.
We'll meet you back here next week, same day, same time. Bye.
Bye.